Happy Friday, Miami. This is Buy, Sell, Hold Miami, a real estate podcast. I'm Peter Zalewski, condo consultant, expert witness, founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club, joined here by my partner, my co-host, the moderator, Daniel Hernandez. He does real estate. He works at Compass Real Estate. He does single family as well as condos. He's over in Coconut Grove. And Daniel, we're in Coconut Grove today.
We are in Coconut Grove. You're not up in Silver Bluff. I'm not in Coral Gables. We are in the heart of Coconut Grove. You know this guy?
I know this guy. Everybody, if they don't know this guy, they're going to know this guy.
They got to know this guy. This guy just came from California, folks. You've heard of that. We got Pedro Teal is from California.
I did not know that.
He's got, his name is Peter. We call him Pedro now because he's been here for a little while. But
I
Rob.
thought he's going to Argentina.
Oh, is that so?
That's what Wall Street Journal's reporting.
He just leased 18,000 square feet at Vlad's building, 830 Brickell, for $250 a foot, Peter.
Wasn't it the Stafford building before he got indicted and sent to federal prison for the money laundering? A different building. Okay, sorry.
Everybody, this is Rob Amoruso. You like Rob or Robert?
Either one.
Rob.
Just not Bob, please.
Just not Bob. Yeah, I don't like Dan.
I don't
like
identify as a Bob.
Or Danny. Rob, Robert.
That's it.
His name is Rob for us today. And Rob Amoruso, he's brought Gideon Strategic Advisors from California to Miami. And we were actually introduced by a fellow colleague of mine, a former colleague of mine, who now works for Rob over here, Mr. Jeff Polishuk. And if you don't know who he is, he used to run things at my brokerage back in the day. When I say back in the day, well, that was like 4 months ago, Peter. But Rob stole us. Rob stole Jeff from us. And, well, now they're building a business here. Is that right?
Right. That's exactly right. It's great to be here. Danny, thank you for having me. Peter, thank you for having me on.
Thanks for hosting us. What a great facility.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're enjoying it.
The location, the quality. This is awesome. You get to walk everywhere. You don't need a car.
It really is. Yeah, the walkability is a huge factor for us.
Do you still have a car? Or did you give it up?
I do, sadly. And, every now and then I'll have to drive in. Just, you have a meeting or two. But
so you haven't gotten the golf cart yet?
That's on the docket.
It's on the docket.
Yeah.
You don't really live in Coconut Grove until
you need one.
You get the golf cart.
I'm not getting a moke. I was just going to say, we're not getting a moke. No, I told my wife that's off the table.
Off the table.
The problem with the moke is the benefit of a golf cart is you can drive it on the grass and park it there. But if you do that with moke, I've heard that you're going to get a ticket or they'll tow you away. So you kind of lose the big benefit of having a golf cart in the Grove.
But it is Miami. Anything's possible in Miami.
Peter, you should get a little golf cart. Peter doesn't have a car.
No?
2013, I gave up my car.
You're
Haven't had one ever since.
What are you taking, Waymo?
Well, no. What I did originally, they had what was it called? Car2Go.
Daimler.
The little smart carts, right?
Yeah. You use your computer, your phone, and then you drive it to beat it to shit. And then after that, Uber came in, took them out, and then the city of Miami stepped up and said, "Let's give away free transportation with the trolley."
Oh yeah.
And Mayor Levine Cava, you capped the Metrorail at 225, and I'm loving you for that. And you fixed the escalators. Well done. Golf clap.
Well, we're going to have flying cars here, too, according to Steve Ross, right?
But listen,
Aviation.
Old man Ross, that's what he's saying. If he's saying it, must be true.
$200 to get to Palm Beach.
Hey.
Terrible.
It's almost as expensive as the Bright Line.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but we got Larry Page from Google here. We have Mark
But
Zuckerberg
they're flying
here.
their choppers already.
Are they? I haven't seen any.
Well, they have the helipad on top of 1000. I've never seen a helicopter park on top of Aston Martin. They have the helipad.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, right?
It's like they build the helipad. Great piece of marketing material, but
what about the Zaha Hadid building? That's the helipad as well. I've never seen.
And the one that they're putting right there at the underpass.
The only time I've seen a helicopter in downtown Miami is typically when the feds are bringing in somebody who's been arrested, and they're bringing them into the federal prison right by Wolfson campus.
Noriega.
There you go.
Noriega. Well, hey everybody, if you're just joining us for the first time today, this is Buy, Sell, Hold Miami. We don't always go on site, but we do it for really important guests. This guy. If you've never watched the show before, on the bottom left of your screen, if you're watching on mobile, right there in the middle, that's what we call the rundown. And throughout the week, Peter and I throw some stories back and forth. And since we got a guest, this is the expat show. Not to say that he's an expat per se, but he's coming from the other side of the continent, folks. And he chose Miami. So I want to jump into it with you, Rob. You could have moved anywhere in the country. You manage millions and millions and millions of dollars. You could have gone to New York. You could have gone to San Francisco. You could have gone to London. But you decided to come here. Is it just because of the sunshine? Or, why Miami?
Sunshine helps. Most people think it's for taxes, which also helps. But the truth is, my wife and I were at an inflection point in our lives. Unfortunately, we moved here under pretty sad circumstances. We lost our house in the Pacific Palisades fire, like so
Oh
many of our
no.
neighbors. And so, we had some pretty big decisions to make, and it was a tough decision. Half of our company is based in Los Angeles, the other half is based in New York City. The appeal for us, I guess, in a word or two, is optimism and opportunity. Miami is a very business-friendly place. Coconut Grove, in particular, is a wonderful place to raise kids. I mean, there are 5 or 6 really great schools right in the neighborhood. Walkability is fantastic. Restaurants are fantastic. And, the people, the community is really what drew us here.
Do you find that community, because we call them Grovites, but those are folks that have been here for decades. Do you find that there's a welcoming community of fellow out-of-state implants like yourself?
I think so many people have moved here in the last 5 years that Miami has become a place that is really efficient at onboarding new residents.
That's actually, I've never heard it said like that before. Right? We've been taking in migrants for decades, and now the domestic migrants want to come here, and we say, well, we know how to do this. Right?
And we've been welcomed with open arms. I mean, I don't know if because it's the tropics, people are happy. There's a lot of vitamin D and sunshine, to your point, but there's just so much activity going on. People want to meet in person. They want to go out to dinner. They want to do deals. They want to share opportunities. And so that was something I was sort of surprised, is how collaborative the people are here in Miami.
While the market's going up.
Right. We'll see what happens if the market turns. When
then
the market turns.
Start to see exactly. 100%. So let me ask you. So you came to South Florida. Why the Grove? Why not South Beach? Why not Brickell? Why didn't you go with Old Man Ross and everybody else up in West Palm Beach or Palm Beach Island, be close to the Mar-a-Lago? I mean, what was what was the allure of the Grove? I mean, you don't have sand.
Yeah.
Are you a boater?
Yeah, well, not really, but I think we're going to become boaters, having lived here and having friends with boats, and it's a great addiction.
Coconut Grove Sailing Club.
That's right.
You got that's a public sailing club. You got Coral Reef, which is private, and you have the Mac Daddy of them all, the one that goes all the way back, where you have Ernest Hemingway was actually even a member.
Is that the Biscayne?
Yeah,
Biscayne.
Wow.
Right next to Monty's.
Coral Reef's got a better facility. They just renovated it.
But just the history, the allure.
It's so interesting learning about the history. Yeah. No, the neighborhood really reminds me a lot of the Palisades. The vibe. It's very green. It's lush. Sure, we don't have the beach.
A lot of tree huggers here.
A lot of tree.
Do not, if you own a,
try to cut down that tree. Yeah.
Do not trim your tree.
No, we're gonna let the tree grow right in the center of the house. It'll be a beautiful centerpiece.
Exactly.
No, I like the vibe. I like it's got a little bit of a jungle vibe to it.
You got your Birkenstocks yet or no?
No, God, no.
You might need to.
No, he gets a free pair with the golf cart.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the Grove is the best place. I don't know if you know any of the history, but 1960s. There was a bohemian music scene here. David Crosby. David Crosby.
I think the Beatles would pass through the Grove when they came and play at the Ed Sullivan Show at the DeVille. Remember back in the day?
That tracks. It's very artsy.
Joplin. A lot of them came here, and then the whole scene was going on in Southern California.
Yeah.
So they all in Northern California. So they all headed out that way. Yeah. No, this here is that great. And the old tourist bar. If you haven't been there, it's been retrofitted because they put up a condo. But we're talking old school 1960s.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a whiskey bar.
Love that.
Yes.
That's what it was. It was a tourist whiskey bar. And there was nothing else. It was like the end of the road.
Was it a speakeasy before that? Does it go back, that
Probably.
long?
I mean, if you look, Peter probably knows the history of Stiltsville better than anybody, but like those were all bootleggers. That's why they built them out there. Those were casinos and brothels and speakeasies.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, you can stop us from drinking. You just got to come and get to us first. See, the cops are outside right now.
Yeah, exactly. 1920s land boom. We had the Volstead Act.
Right.
No booze.
Right.
People came to Florida because you had the sun. You had the pretty people, and also too, they were bringing in the illicit substances. There's a book called Bubble in the Sun. In it, they say that Carl Fisher, the guy who's credited with Miami Beach, he was a rum runner.
Wow.
He was a rum runner until he decided to,
went legit.
Outsource it. Yeah, exactly.
Coconut farmer to rum runner to building houses on a big island.
You got it. You were gonna love it, but let me give you the key though. My opinion. First year, everyone parties like a rock star. You go to all the restaurants. Second year, you got to balance. By the third year, if you haven't balanced, you're either going home to rehab or you're going to prison.
Right.
So anyone who's here 4 years or more is legit and is accepted. My opinion.
When we moved here, my wife was 7 months pregnant.
Oh, so you didn't do anything the first year.
So we lost the house, and she was pregnant, and we had to find new doctors. We had to, fortunately, logistically, it was okay because we didn't have any thing to move.
Yeah.
So we just got on an airplane and came down and started looking for homes to rent.
What a story.
So the logistics of it were pretty easy. The emotional aspect was a lot harder.
Yeah.
And figuring out where the kids are going to go to school and really laying some roots now because we're here for the long haul. And so far, we've been here a little over a year. We just love it.
So California's got refried beans. Mexican influence.
A lot of good Mexican food.
Miami-Dade County, you're talking black beans.
Right.
You're talking Moros. You're talking,
right.
Depending on wherever you go, a little bit different cuisine. Are you having any trouble?
Fortunately, my wife is a fantastic chef.
Oh.
And, part of the reason we landed on the Grove, to your question earlier, is that there is a blossoming health and wellness community.
Wellness.
Yeah.
Don't give me the wellness. All right, sorry.
We're going to get this guy some peptides. So. And it's kind of funny because it's like this chapter is just starting to be written. And, for my wife especially, she is one of the authors of this book that's being written about the health and wellness community.
Is that right?
In Coconut Grove.
And all these people are here. Like this is the sort of the catalyst of it.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, one thing about living in LA is it is really easy to eat healthy. And there's a lot of, Pilates and yoga and gyms to go to. And we found that we have a lot of that here in the Grove as well.
Don't forget El Pollo Loco.
Oh, you got to hit El Pollo Loco.
I don't know how healthy that's going to be.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
In-N-Out Burger?
Not as much.
Probably not
as much.
No, I don't think they got any of those like west of Dallas, do they?
A buddy of mine who was here in Miami, he decided to move to LA, and he said, you know what, they don't have good Cuban sandwiches here.
Right.
So he bought himself a food truck, which back in the day they called a Roach Coach.
Yeah.
And he went around selling Cuban sandwiches. He was having some success, and then he kind of went off in the wrong direction on other things. But is there Cuban food out there in Miami? Have you had Cuban food?
In the valley, there's
in the valley probably
right?
there are. Yeah. We lived in a little village in the Palisades Village, and it was a little bit of a bubble, but it was our bubble. We liked it there. But we were creatures of habit. We end up going to the same restaurants all the time. You see the same people.
Well, and I sort of see Miami, and we've said this before, or I mentioned it before we got on the show. Like LA is Miami times 10.
It is.
So the good and the bad. 10 times the traffic, 10 times the people, 10 times the crime, 10 times the corruption. Yeah, I can keep on going and going and going, but 10 times like sort of that bubble element. So if you stay in if you live in the Palisades, you're going to stay in the Palisades. You're not going to go to downtown unless it's like an ultra special occasion and some Michelin. Whoever
it takes 2 hours to get there.
Exactly.
So that's a big problem.
And you'll go to the surf club.
Yeah, right. I think, look, traffic here is obviously an issue in Miami. Hopefully the flying cars solve some of that for us. But that was another reason we chose the Grove. Getting back to that point is that this is so walkable here. And you have this balance of, it feels like a little small town, but it's fairly developed and there's a lot going on here. I mean, what they did with Coco Walk is just, it's unbelievable.
Well, you didn't see it through its like previous 3 iterations. I mean, talk about strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. I think this recent iteration is pretty nice.
It's not bad.
I mean, if any of the 2 restaurants on where Planta and the Key Club was can ever survive, that's a whole other conversation.
Something about that location, I don't know what it is. It's always packed.
I think it was such a miss that they need to put a Hillstone there. If they put a Hillstone on that corner,
totally agree.
That would
be
the flagship.
You're like the 5th person to say that.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, the space is perfect for it. I don't know. We're not here to talk about chain restaurants,
but one thing I gotta say though, what the hell is Banco Santander doing in the old Johnny Rocket site? You got a bank that's only an ATM and a major intersection where people are walking. Now, cross street,
it ain't Bank OZK.
Inside joke, anybody doesn't know Bank OZK, look it up. Take a look at their loan portfolio, then we'll talk. But anyway, Banco Santander, you got this great piece of dirt. Why the hell do you have an ATM machine sitting right there at that corner? I mean, the landlord should have been a little bit more thoughtful. But who owns the property? That's Pedro, or that's David Martin, isn't it?
Does David Martin own that retail?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm speculating here.
I don't know. Well, I got a buy, sell, hold on topic 1. Moving to Miami was easy. Making that choice. Are you a buy, sell, hold on that statement?
I'm a buy on that statement. It was easy. It was easy logistically, and it was an easy choice for us to land on. Emotionally, it was hard.
You heard it here. Well, emotionally, any move is hard. They say moving.
It is traumatic. Any move is traumatic.
Peter just moved like 10 blocks. They say moving is almost as stressful as getting divorced. Almost. And well, I haven't gotten divorced. I don't plan to. And well, I never want to move again. Yeah, moving's rough, man.
Yeah.
All right, you're a buy. we already live here, so it's
but you
tough.
got to rephrase it. Are you talking about the choice to move to Miami, or are you talking about the actual process of moving to Miami?
I think the actual process of moving to Miami.
Ooh. Yeah, I would probably have
like
to be
finding a place. I'm sure you had a realtor. It wasn't me or Peter, but like, you know, that whole, all the heavy lifting that comes along with moving.
And there's certain nuances here, especially if you're going to do anything in your house and you decide to change this, change
Oh
that.
my
Like I
God,
said,
try calling a plumber.
Yeah, a plumber, and the guy shows up.
Right.
And whatever you do, do not pay your full deposit with any work you're getting done. Never, never, never. Because we always hear that story. And let me give you the other trick. The other thing is they'll typically do 80% of the project. The last 20%, they're going to bail on. They'll tell you keep the money.
Yeah.
They don't even want it because that's the hard part. That's the refined part. That's the craftsmanship part. You tend to learn these things sort of along the way is what I would say.
Rob's a buy.
I'd have to be a buy on that.
I'm a buy. We're green all across. Well, you were talking about coming to the Grove, Rob. So I've always had this thesis about the Grove, and big part, I mean, a lot of people come to the Grove for different reasons. It's close to the water, it's very centrally located, but ultimately your commute is your kids. And the concentration of high quality private schools, and you have the
public schools,
the A+ public school, they're getting an $18 million capital injection. They're gonna build it out.
Yeah, it's a great
So
school.
you got a public school there. You got no less than 3 or 4 private schools within a mile of each other here. And so my whole thesis has been that is actually what drove the explosion of growth in the Grove. Everything else is just kind of, yes, it has affected it, but that's extra. Foundationally, it's about the schools.
Yeah, it's created a virtuous cycle for the neighborhood, I think, too, because more families coming in, more people starting businesses, it kind of feeds off of itself. Look, the beach is amazing. I would have loved, and I would live in a condo the rest of my life. You have 2 kids and a wife, that doesn't really fly necessarily.
Sure.
But would it be nice to go outside and, you know, have beach service at my condo building? Absolutely. The traffic on Miami Beach is out of control.
It took me an hour to get off the island. Joshua was with me. It took us an hour to go from south of 5th. We were at where were we? We were at the Ritz, right, Joshua? Yeah, we were at the Ritz. It took us an hour to get to the Tuttle.
Yeah, it's worse than crosstown traffic in Manhattan.
And it's only 5 blocks cross. That's crosstown on the beach.
I think that's the frustrating part of it. Is
you
like
get nowhere.
You just don't get anywhere.
I don't understand.
I don't mind driving for a couple hours in the car if I'm moving.
Yeah.
You know, 95 is rough because you're going in a straight line. It's not so fun.
There's nothing to look at.
Yeah, there's nothing to look at. But the walkability, the ease to get around. I mean, I don't really sit in traffic. My son, you know, goes to school in Coral Gables. So, you know, in the mornings, it's a little bit rough. And it's only 2.5 miles and it takes about 30 minutes.
I live in the Gables. It takes me half an hour to get here.
Yeah. But that's like, you know, that any major city, you're going to have to deal with that.
But part of what's making the Grove so special is outside of your son having to go to the Gables for school, if say he went to school in the Grove.
Well, he's going to, right? Because he's going to graduate out of that program.
And
then
go to
he's gonna
Ransom.
somewhere in here. Ransom starts in 6th grade. So you figure out, you know, there's St. Stephen's right down the street. There's Coconut Grove Elementary is a great
St. Hugh's
school.
is right here.
There's like 2 Montessoris in the neighborhood. And literally we could walk and drop him off at school. Like, that is amazing. Yeah. That's a good lifestyle.
That's a great lifestyle.
You don't
really, and you haven't even gotten into boating yet.
That's an expensive lifestyle. Let's be honest.
Boating is
how much does tuition cost? 50 grand, 100 grand a year?
It is.
Grade school?
Yeah, we go back and forth on this topic pretty much like every night because the question is like, does AI replace all the jobs? And like, you know, what do you really need?
What's the value in 45 grand a year?
If AI is the great equalizer and everyone is now a genius because you're operating with that in the background, you know, maybe they're going to have to go to trade school and learn how to be electricians or plumbers and actually make things, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And so is it really worth it to spend $50,000, $60,000 a year for kids to go to kindergarten? You know, that's up for debate.
Really, it's organic paint they use fingerprint.
That's right. That's right. You got to get the organic paint. And, you know, the networks obviously are great for business. You meet other parents, they become close friends. It creates more opportunities. So, you know, that's an aspect. You could look at it as first and foremost an investment in your kids. That's why you send them to good schools. But it could also be an investment for yourself and for others.
Serious money.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, think about it. If you're 50 grand a year sending your kid to grade school, then you go into high school, which is going to be what, another 50, 100 grand a year?
Well, God only knows it's going up by 5 or 6% a year.
And then you throw in the university or college, even, I mean, I guess you could be Mark Zuckerberg or somebody, not necessarily have to go to college.
It's $1 million a kid plus extracurriculars.
It's $1 million. And then what are they going to do? They're going to be partying and, well, they're probably drinking kava, and nobody drinks liquor anymore.
Nobody drinks liquor
They're
anymore.
drinking kava, maybe smoking, eating gummies, doing whatever, especially the California kids.
Right.
Good thing you got them the hell out of there. This is much more
I don't know about that. That's up for debate.
Speaking of which, have you read Hotel Scarface?
I have not.
Oh.
It's a good one.
You are in the legendary area, the Casablanca.
Really?
1980s.
Really?
1980s.
Wow.
Right here, right at
The
Bayshore
Mutiny.
Drive.
Wow.
Yep, the Mutiny.
Yes,
Mutiny Hotel. It was basically the feds, the law enforcement, the drug dealers, everybody. They put down their weapons.
Yeah.
They went in there.
Neutral territory.
Party like rock stars.
Wow.
Everybody was there. Everybody, even supposedly George Bush when he was involved with the CIA.
George Bush Sr.
Senior. Correct.
And when he wasn't involved.
And probably well, I guarantee Junior was, or W probably was. Given
What about Jeb?
Yeah. Jeb, I don't know. Jeb was low.
Jeb was a straight shooter.
Yeah.
You got to check out the book, The Hotel Scarface. Non-fiction written about it. It dealt about the 1980s and how we migrated over from the people who originally came over to suddenly the kids taking over the business and getting much more polished. Fantastic book.
Oh, that's great. I'll pick that one up. Yeah. Thanks for the tip.
Did private equity scoop that up? Did they terminate that?
I don't think it's been terminated.
Where on Bayshore was it?
So you know where Bayshore turns, like right by Peacock Park.
Yeah.
There's a what is it, like 25-story reddish building, right in front of the Sonesta.
Yep.
That was the Mutiny Hotel.
Oh, you're kidding.
And then they converted it, and now it's a condo hotel.
Yeah.
Effectively, it's an Airbnb short-term rental. We were just talking about these. It's one of those.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the maintenance, the HOA in that building.
Yeah.
It's like over $2 a foot.
Well, it's gotten out of control.
It's absurd.
It's really gotten out of control. I mean, and it's not just Coconut Grove. It's
No. I mean, 20 to 30% of the HOA is insurance. And post Surfside, you had all the insurance companies freaking out. You get whacked by a couple of hurricanes. Doesn't matter really where in the state, because they're going to stabilize their book with everybody, so everybody's premiums went up. And then the condo associations haven't been playing ball. So they're like, hey, you got these structural integrity reserve studies. You're not holding reserves.
That's right.
It's like, that's a letter in the acronym. And if you don't have the reserves, then...
I'm curious your perspective on it too, because, Miami, I haven't lived here, but it maybe 10 years since a really bad hurricane.
We've been lucky.
Yeah. We
the
had
West
Irma,
Coast,
17, 18?
that was 17.
17 was
There was Irma. We had 2 back-to-back that year, where you had the Instagram videos of like, this is pre-AI, so it was real. You had like animals, sea animals.
This is 2017?
2017.
So this is in the middle of COVID?
This is, no, 2017 is before COVID.
Oh, 2020. 2017.
So a couple
before
years,
the big boom where people really started moving down.
Right, but 2017, I don't know if you weren't here, but I know Peter remembers, Related was paying a 10% commission on Paraíso. That's where the market was headed here. And for pre-construction, they usually pay somewhere between 5 and 7%.
Right.
So when a developer is paying out 10% commissions on a pre-construction development,
that's when you know.
You're like, Peter, you were around when they were giving out cars to brokers, huh?
Yeah, they used to give out cars. They would do all types of
cars.
things. Well, let me take you back in the day. Let's go back in the day, everybody. Let's get in the time machine, go way back in the day. That 2002 to 2011 boom. So they say at the time there were a bunch of different modeling agencies. Modeling agencies were very popular. And then
They never called me.
Well, we came to find out maybe why some of these modeling agencies.
Those popular. Kind of modeling agencies.
Yeah, so supposedly what went on back in the day is you had these older types of guys who were coming down to buy pre-construction. They put 20% down. They wanted to be feel special and like they were interesting and they had the personality and charisma and stuff. So some of the modeling agencies used to be hired to go ahead and come to the launch parties, come to the condo parties. You get free booze, you're sucking down food. These beautiful people are sort of making you feel good. So that's what it was like when they first ran it up in the 2002 boom. So, they do whatever they can to sort of, make you realize that it's not a big deal to buy a futures contract on a condo on a developer who may or may not have built before. Trust that person with your money for 5 years and hope that they'll come over the finish line.
It's a good way to cloud judgment, I guess.
Exactly. I did a podcast recently with an attorney who represents condo associations as well as individuals suing developers. And I have a rule. They have to do 3 projects to be legit as a developer. Otherwise, you don't know what's going to happen. This guy says 5, minimum 5. They haven't done 5 projects. At any moment, they could go sideways. Yeah, so there's just some of the nuances you can find.
You can go, as they say in West Brickell, tits up like Michael Stern.
Tits up. Michael Stern, you're supposed to be coming on the podcast. We want to hear your spin. We've got everybody else coming out. David Martin's out. George Perez, he's coming out of retirement to speak to Spanish language television. We got JP, we got Nick Perez. Everybody's doing the talk. Dog.
I have not seen Michael on his PR team. Does he have a PR team?
I don't know, but I did see that lawsuit, according to the Real Deal, associated with commissions or something with Sotheby's.
Oh no, somebody's trying to claw back. Yeah, they're trying to get their commissions.
Some of the commissions. Yeah. So, anyways,
and did you see?
Stay tuned.
Buy, sell, hold. They moved to the Grove because of the schools. Is that why you moved to the Grove, or is there more to it?
Schools were a huge factor.
Huge factor.
Huge factor. Walkability, huge factor. My wife has a lot of friends that live in the neighborhood. So I think there's an idiosyncratic element to why people move where they move. For us, having my wife make all the important decisions in life makes my life a lot easier.
Good man. Yeah. I concur. that was my thesis. I think Peter's always agreed with that thesis about the schools.
Listen, I think you're BS a little bit. You came here because of Flanagan's.
Yes.
You came here because of Flanagan's.
Honestly, in retrospect, I think
you want to be able to walk back and forth. You don't want to have to drive, look for parking.
Guilty
There's
as
no
charged.
parking anywhere.
It's Flanagan's the Barney's Beanery.
It is.
Coconut Grove.
Yes, I'm buying that statement. Yeah, we love Flanagan. My sons love Flanagan's because they get the tattoos.
I don't know about the tattoos. They get tattoos?
The tattoo sticker.
Peter, I'm going to put one on Peter's forehead.
Yeah, no, I got a big forehead.
I'm buying. Peter's buying. Rob's buying. God, we got to get a little, we got to start battling a little bit. Maybe. All right. I think this will do it.
Here we go.
We need a controversial.
Hey, I've been reading a lot lately.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I've been reading books that were written 100 years ago.
And hard copy or digital?
Maybe a little bit of both. Maybe I do the audiobook, Peter. Come on.
No, audiobook is legit.
And
no one reads anymore.
I've been hearing that Miami is the Wall Street of the South. Wall Street of the South. And this guy's an investor right here. He didn't come from Wall Street, though. He came from out west. He could have gone to Wall Street, and he said, what do you think about that, Rob? Is it like Wall Street of the South? By the way, it's a moniker that they've been selling here since the 1920s.
Yeah.
It's like Make America Great Again. They couldn't come up with a new one, so they just stole the one from the 80s.
I'm short. I'm selling.
You're selling.
Wow.
I'm selling.
Pound the table sell?
Yeah, no.
Oh, man. We didn't even get to the end of the topic. You got to justify this.
I jumped ahead of the
You jumped ahead? No, let's hear it.
Running the market.
It's unquestionable there are a lot of financial services companies coming down.
Sure.
But if you spend a week in New York and you work in finance, you see that there's nothing that can really replicate Wall Street, which is now, by the way, in Midtown. It's not even on Wall Street anymore. I mean, for someone like me that has to go to 5 or 10 meetings in a day,
you can do that.
You can do that in Manhattan in a few hours.
You can't do that in a week here.
Exactly. So is it the Wall Street of the South? Not really, but there are a lot of hedge funds, there's private equity firms, there are investment banks that are moving their headquarters or at least satellite offices down here. So I think there's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of wealth moving in, but the same is true in Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. People are a lot of folks in Boca, hedge fund guys moving down to Boca.
I can move down to Boca, right? Palm Beach.
Palm Beach. I know there's a lot of no, I don't know about
or maybe
because he was out in
maybe a back office.
Creek.
Oh, did he have a place in Indian Creek?
Yeah. Long time.
Next to Julio Iglesias, who made more money. He made more money selling dirt on Indian Creek than he did singing songs for 40 years. I think he had 4 properties on Indian Creek.
And what are they? They're going for 100 million plus.
He sold one of them to Kushner.
Wow. Yeah.
So Wall Street of the South.
I think it's a blooming financial services community here, but it doesn't hold a candle to Wall Street.
So, but is it real? Is it? And here's what I mean by that. Okay, traditionally, let's go back to Henry Flagler, old man Flagler. Mm-hmm. He's running Standard Oil with John D. Rockefeller. Flagler's doing the logistics. He knows the train system. He knows how it gets done. His wife gets sick. Doctor says, you need to take her to better weather. The only place he could go was St. Augustine where they had a hotel. He thought the hotel was shit. So he decided to build his own while he's there because he knows logistics. He starts putting together all these independent rail systems and ultimately takes it down to Palm Beach County. Mm-hmm. So I guess sort of where I'm going with this is are people coming here to do business, or are they coming here like old people always do, coming here to retire? And then, by the way, let's just get a little office. We'll get what do they call that one? Borough? Borough, like
a WeWork.
Yeah, like the WeWork. But I like the Borough one because to me it sounds like Jackass, but I guess it has a different meaning.
Borough.
Swedish or something. But are they regularly coming here? Like Jeff Bezos, he could have brought his second Amazon headquarters.
Right.
He could have brought it.
Oh, that was that dirt that Simpkins has for $500 million, right?
The Club 11 guys.
Yeah.
It's a cabaret. Don't call it a strip joint. But he could have built it there. He decided not to. Now he's down here. Is he really here for business, or are they just old? They want a place to retire, and there's simply nothing more to it. That's the part. That's the push.
Well, I think that there's still a lot of problems, right? Like Miami is very expensive. It's not super affordable, and if you're going to move an entire headquarters here, you don't want to put people in a position where they have to live 2 hours away. So I think that's a big consideration for people that are looking to move out of, some of the higher tax states like California or New York.
But I mean, moving from San Francisco, those employees are already paying a pretty penny.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's a different story. Moving from San Francisco, I'd venture to say it's probably similar cost of living, albeit you have the benefit of not paying state income tax.
Sure. So what is that? Another like 10%?
Where I was, it was almost 13%.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
but like if you take a look at Coral Gables is just like that's where the CEOs who run the satellite office or the regional headquarters live.
Right.
They're there so they can get close to the airport. That's typically what I've been told and what I've seen over the course of time. But they don't really bring the people here. If they do, they probably got them out in Miami Lakes or Hialeah.
You're exactly right.
Well, that's why I-75.
Well, that's why we see all this multifamily being built in Hialeah, and they're getting like $3 a foot in multifamily in Hialeah.
Yeah.
On Okeechobee.
I don't know. I don't see like Mark Zuckerberg at the top of his game, or who's got some startup that's rock star. I don't see them picking up and coming here to do stuff to build it. I see when you get old, or you're looking for some sort of deviation or avoid taxes, you might be coming here. But I don't see them building infrastructure here whatsoever. I mean, personally,
or
I've been here for
scam.
30-something years. It's always the same hustle. They're always in the early 2000s. They were spinning Telefonica, and you had privatization in Latin America. Late 90s, you had Silicon Beach. We were going to be the area where VC money came in. You had all the startups. They were all on Lincoln Road. So there's always a new hustle. Then we had the crypto bros.
Yep.
They were all down here. Fortunately, we got a nice little statue, Bitcoin bull, outside of the college. But there's always a different hustle. So to me, maybe I'm just old, and maybe it's I've seen too much. But to me, they're just coming here because they're old and they don't have a better place to go.
I think we're seeing it play out real time. Younger people are definitely moving. I mean, you walk around the neighborhood. There's people walking their kids around in strollers. There are a lot more young people moving.
Are those guys working remote jobs?
That's a great question. Probably many of them are. Yeah, I would imagine so.
Like remote jobs.
Post-COVID era, I mean, people are a lot more lenient. We're not.
But I will tell you though, if you talk to Miamians, kids who are born and raised here, what do they want to do? They don't want to stay in Miami. They get the hell out of here.
They want to go to New York.
They're going elsewhere.
Well, because that's where the opportunity is. I mean, if you want to, if you're gunning for an investment banking job, and I'm not in the job market for an investment banking job, but you go where the fish are, right? You fish where the fish are.
We are seeing more talent here, though.
Really?
Yeah, we're seeing it pick up.
Are they coming out of like FIU and UM and
UM? People are not necessarily super eager to move to New York anymore. They see what's going on politically. They don't necessarily agree. They think there's a lot of wasted money. It's very expensive.
Free bus rides, though.
New York is definitely a free grocery stores. Everything's going to be free soon. Someone's paying for it.
Fair enough.
So, New York is a hard place to live. I think it's great in your 20s, but eventually you have to make a decision. Am I a lifer? Am I going to stay in Manhattan forever?
Or am I moving to the burbs?
Am I moving to the burbs?
Taking the train for an hour and a half.
Or am I going to go somewhere else where there might be a better quality of life and I can save some bucks in the meantime?
And no salt on the street, no snow to shovel. People wear bikinis all the time.
No good delis. You're not getting pastrami here. There's no corned beef.
It's funny. So about a year ago.
Don't tell me Hialeah.
No.
Don't tell me about Hialeah pastrami. I had it.
No, so
it's all right. You're not getting a knish in Miami.
There was somebody, I think it was the New Times, did a piece about all the different restaurants, like the genres of restaurants. I guess we would call them genres of restaurants. And you've been here for long enough that we have a plethora, a cornucopia, if I may, of Italian restaurants. Right, like 150 Italian restaurants in Miami-Dade County.
Carbone Vino's right
across Carbone Vino. And, across the street from that, you got 12 other ones. And that's just the Grove we're talking about. And so if you look at the bottom of the list, the genre that wasn't really represented, I think with like under 30 or 40 restaurants, it was barbecue and delis. You know how many delis? But since I saw that, I see all these little sandwich places. You got Chev, you got they just put a bodega here on Ortega, the road flying by over there on Bird Ave.
Love a good bodega.
I just want a good sandwich.
Yeah.
Like that isn't $45.
Well,
that's
Publix is
the
like
other part.
$15 now for a sub.
Yeah, and you got to wait in line for half an hour.
Yeah.
I will say the healthy options though are good. Avo, have you tried Avo?
Oh, right there across
Yeah.
from Carbo Vino.
Avo's really
It's
good.
got an extensive menu.
Yeah, and I like that people are more attuned now to, unfortunately, the poison that we've been eating for the last few decades, right? And so, companies like Avo have come out and said we're not using seed oils in any of our food. Everything is going to be organic. And it's unfortunate that it's expensive to eat healthy in this country. It's one of the greatest tragedies of all time, of our generation, for sure. But at least there's optionality now.
Fair. You're not getting the healthy food at Flanny's, though.
Yeah, no, you're not getting that.
That's our cheat day.
Not happening whatsoever.
It's our cheat day. Have a salad and a quesadilla.
It's a Caesar salad.
Nice balance.
Have you found good Mexican food here?
We like.
That's not convincing.
No, coming from Southern California.
Yeah, you could go to a hole in the wall.
Sushi, like sushi. Any good sushi joints here?
I mean, we got Omakai right down the street. It's pretty good.
That's legit.
I like Coco. Coco's good.
Okay.
I don't know if Coco's Mexican, right?
Yeah, the one next to Sedell's.
Yeah. Coco's good. Yeah, Coco's good. Jaguar, but I don't think that's more like traditional Spanish.
And that place, those guys have been there for 1,000 years.
They just redid it, right?
Oh, did they just? I haven't been there in so long, but that's behind the French place there on Main Highway, Le Bouchon. I think that's probably the oldest, most tenured restaurant in the Grove. It's great.
Yeah.
Great mussels and fries and all that fun stuff. But I think Jaguar is probably the second. I mean, Last Carrot was there forever. That just went.
We just look for places where we can bring our kids and they can run amok, and it's not a problem. That's all we care.
That's a good.
Tourist, you got to go to the tourist bar. The kids will love it.
Okay.
Kids will love it.
All right. Well, we already know Rob's selling.
I'm selling.
I already know what Peter's going to say.
Rephrase the question.
Wall Street of the South.
I hope it becomes the Wall Street of the South. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I have a vested interest in that.
Of course, but you've got capital coming in from all over the world. They know that you've planted a flag here, and they're like, he's investing my money.
Yeah, he's smart.
He picked Miami. He can pick everything else.
That's right. Yep.
Pick Jeff.
Jeff is going to have to get a cameo. We're going to have to bring him in before the end of the show.
I think we might have to. Well, I'm selling Miami Wall Street of the South. I think
Whoa, you didn't give me my opportunity.
I already know you're selling.
How do you know I'm selling?
I think you're selling.
I am selling. Here's why I'm selling. But here's why I'm selling. We always get waves of people coming. Always. 50s, 60s, 70s. We got the Cubans. 90s. We got the Haitians. We got the Colombians in the 90s. The 80s. 2000s. We got the Argentines. Throw the Brazilians in there. What do we got right now? We got blue state migrants coming here, fleeing the taxes.
We still have the Argentines and the Colombians.
Well, true. But what I'm saying is we're going through a wave right now. We're going through a wave, and the question is how many people stick? How many people stay around?
What do they call them, the halfbacks?
Yeah, well, which would be Asheville, North Carolina.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But that's sort of the key. I think right now we've been replaced by what typically was a foreign influx by simply a blue state influx of people who are coming here. And then the question is, do they actually stick around?
Right.
So, and that's where I think, the point where you have kids in school, you're probably going to stay.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones who are just like parachuting in and they're going to hang out and they're going to party like rock stars. Maybe they go to Club 11, they get their $1 million watch stolen, and then they might reconsider it.
Right.
But so, I think there will be a little bit of a play out though. But I would be a sell because I think this is just the latest hustle. This is the latest, crypto bros. Now we got the blue state migrants coming, and hopefully you stay.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the trade-offs is it's hot here in the summer months. And so what do? You stick it out. If you're from here, you're used to it, right? And you actually kind of enjoy it because similar to Manhattan, everyone goes to the Hamptons, people here, they leave. So it actually could be kind of enjoyable. You're not sitting in traffic all day every day.
No, absolutely. The schools are like UM.
It's great for your skin, not so good for your hair.
Great. It's great. You got to get the pomade.
Yeah. I just stopped doing my hair.
Really?
I let it go because I put the stuff in and I walk outside and I'm like Kramer from Seinfeld.
You could always go Rasta.
Yeah, that would be a good look, or cornrows.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
All right, Rob. So we're all selling across the board. Add a little color to it. Thank you. Thank you for being so contrarian, Peter.
I'm not trying to be contrarian.
I knew you really wanted to say buy on Wall Street of the South. So I want to talk a little bit about your business, Rob. And you started your firm with some buddies that you've known for your entire life out in California. And we talked about how you moved, yourself and your family, and you're building a small squad here. But your team very much so is based in LA. I go on your website, it still says Century City on your masthead. So, do you foresee Miami as a place where you're going to continue to grow your business, or are you finding yourself still having to fly to New York to take a bunch of meetings in Midtown, or fly to Latin America to raise capital, or is Miami just a mailing address to you?
No, definitely not. No, half of our company's still based in Los Angeles. The other half is in Midtown Manhattan. So invariably, I'm going to end up traveling to LA and New York pretty frequently. I try not to travel as much as I can. I've got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I just try to soak every minute up, whether they're laughing and playing and having a good time, or they're crying or sick and coming in my room at 3 a.m. I just try to remember that line from The Office, that you got to remember you're in the good old times when you're in the good old times.
Well said.
I love that.
Well said.
I love that.
So no, definitely not just a mailing address. We are actively looking to hire and build out this South Florida office. And candidly, I've socialized this with our teams, but for those that want to move down to Miami, our employees, we would help facilitate that. And so I could envision, we'll always have a presence in both Manhattan and LA. We have a tremendous amount of clients and relationships, and they're great places to spend time. But I could envision this being our flagship headquartered office in the coming years.
Love that.
Yeah.
And is that just a factor of Rob wanting to be here, or do you think that there's a business case?
No, you mean his wife.
Hey, I'm sorry, Rob's wife.
The wife is the one who made the decision.
Yeah.
Rob's wife, Roberta. What is your wife's name?
My wife, Lainey.
Lainey made the decision.
Lainey. No, but in all seriousness, are you foreseeing? Was your move here preemptive of, I'm going to see Miami growing, or are you just hopping on the train and saying, this train's leaving the station, I gotta get down there?
No, look, I'd spent a lot of time in Miami. We would come down for conferences every year for the last 20 years. So we saw, the transformation that's occurred over the last 2 decades here. There's a tremendous amount of wealth moving into South Florida in general, but the energy is in Miami.
Of course.
We could have easily went to Palm Beach. We could have went to Boca. Fort Lauderdale's also seeing a lot of growth, a lot of new developments. We could have went to Sarasota to be near our
Sarasota.
We considered it.
Come on.
We considered
it. That for the economic development group.
Yeah.
So they gave you some cash. Oh,
Right.
Well, he could have gotten a deal. What are they down? Like 40% year over year over
They
there?
would pay us.
Marlins, we're going to go to San Antonio. If we don't build you a stadium, they're going to. Come on. You weren't going to Sarasota.
We considered it for an entire.
For about a second.
Yeah, for an entire day. We spent a lot of time over there with the in-laws. Great little town, but yeah, no, we couldn't live there. It's just too sleepy. Maybe one day when we retire, we'll go to Longboat Key and hang out on the beach.
You can take a flying car over there. It'll take half an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Little Jetson mobile.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's a lot of money that continues to flow here, not just in real estate, but within private equity, within banking. There's a huge legal community here, and a lot of our clients work in these industries.
So it's funny you said legal. I have some friends that are in like the big corporate law space. And from what I understand, we talk about salaries and how much to pay people and who gets paid what. And it's my understanding that the only industry that has really matched Manhattan on wages is big law
and hedge funds. Yeah. I mean, you look at firms like Citadel and Millennium, they all have teams, pods that work within those organizations that have moved down here. And,
they got to pay.
They get paid a lot.
Right.
And they're saving a lot of money by living here.
And do you see, you talk to these guys on the daily, Peter and I are real estate guys. So do you see that you were talking about talent? Are they hiring locally or are they importing a lot of their talent?
I think they're starting to hire more locally because people actually want to stay here. They don't necessarily want to move to New York or California. But I think the main source is still importing talent from New York.
Has it been difficult for these firms to get people to come down here? Because Miami's great, but it can be a little abrasive.
It's definitely not for everyone. And I think, I would agree with that. I do think that they have had a little bit of a hard time getting top talent to move down here. And not necessarily because it's not a great place to live. I think it is. I think it's more along the lines of people can't just pick up their entire life and move to another state, right? That is a very.
You got a 14-year-old, you got a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, but if you got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old,
we were in a unique position, right? Our kids were young enough that they're not going to remember the fire, God willing. They won't. And one wasn't even born, so obviously he won't. But Luca, our oldest, he was He was 2 when it happened. And so pulling him out of school and sending him to another school, he was able to assimilate very quickly. And honestly, we didn't really have much of a family support system in Los Angeles. I grew up in Massachusetts. Lainey grew up down in Sarasota. Our families are all on the East Coast. So this was actually
Oh,
easier.
so California was actually far away from
California is very far for us. Yeah. So this was actually a great move for us because we're much closer to our families. And, having that support system, that is the reason that you don't leave Greenwich, Connecticut to move to Florida because your family, your
Yeah, you
parents
have
are
the
there.
whole societal support system. You got a country club. Your business is in throes with the country club. I mean, I'm sure you had to come down here and you've joined the clubs. You're on the wait list to get into all these clubs because that's part of it all, right?
That's right. That's right. And look, I was in New York last week. The energy is there. It's booming. It's not, as it would appear to be in the echo chambers that we live in social media,
Sure.
where all you see is
It's
protests.
New York.
It's New York City. It's very resilient.
Right.
But, the cost of living is the highest in the country. Taxes are some of the highest in the country. So the question is, like, where is that max pain threshold for people where they say, you know what? I do have my entire family here, but I'm either going to move and then we'll go visit, or I'm actually going to move my family. I'll move my parents down to Florida, or
Right.
maybe I move them up north a little bit and I work in Miami.
Before I go to the next topic, I want to ask you though, you came from California, you deal with a lot of people in New York and Chicago, people coming down here. How do they view South? Do they just see South Florida, sort of Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and it's a hodgepodge?
Yes.
And they don't really understand the nuances of all these places?
First of all, they call it Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's all
everybody
the
refers
same.
to it as Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's South Florida.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
then, guys, I haven't been to Palm Beach. I can't tell you the last time I've been to Palm Beach.
Right, right.
It might as well be Mars. I've been to New York 100 times more than I've been to Palm Beach. So, like, you've been traveling here for a long time, so you didn't have that experience. But do you think people come here, they get to Miami, and they're like, oh wow, this is not what I expected?
I guess it depends on when they come. If they come in the summer months and they haven't been here before, they're like, this is hell on earth. But if they come in the winter and they're leaving Buffalo, New York,
Art
they're
Basel.
like, this is paradise.
Right, of course.
So I think that summer issue is the big trade-off. But you hear it all the time, like, oh, I would move to Florida, but then I'd have to live in Florida. You've heard this before?
We don't hear that because we're in
But
Florida
you're in
already.
Florida, yeah. So
They say that about us?
oh yeah,
Motherfucker.
big time.
But
I
we got a
think-
bad rep.
They think they lump in South Florida as like one city essentially. But they're all very different.
Peter has a good analogy for the Broward, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade sandwich.
So sort of the way I see it is you got your wealthy, international oriented people.
Mhm.
They could be born abroad or they think internationally. They're going to be in Dade County. You got your wealthy, domestic oriented, inward looking. They're going to be in Palm Beach County. And then all the workers are in Broward County. And basically they're going north or they're going south. Basically,
right.
It's the way I kind of see it. But
Yeah.
what's interesting, what you said about the fires that went on in California. So go back to August of 1992. We had Hurricane Andrew come through. Hurricane Andrew came through. I moved there a year later, but the insurance payoffs were so spectacular and the hustles were so spectacular that the payoff checks were so big. Many locals called it St. Andrew. Like it was like this dream. They gave them all the money, and because of that, the only housing that was available at the time, much like your situation, was in Miramar, Southwest Broward. So Southwest Broward went from struggling. Suddenly, everybody was rich from these insurance checks. They all went there and just blew out the area, and then that really kind of added to the whole expansion of Broward County. So it's curious that the fire triggered you to come out here. Other people, I'm sure it was a pandemic, but I just wonder as we look back, this might be really one of those key moments when the whole demographic of the state of Florida, or at least South Florida, changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the better.
Do you think that it was gonna happen eventually? And
Californians coming here.
California, the domestic migration. I feel like COVID, and Peter likes to say it's when DeSantis allowed people to twerk on police cars, which he's not wrong, by the way.
Yeah, you came here because you work from home. You didn't have to wear a mask.
Right.
Because it was a red state.
So it kind of coerced that
Miami Beach
acceleration.
said, come on Ocean Drive. Get up on that cop car and twerk.
Yeah, it was like a vacation for a lot of people.
It was a vacation
exactly.
from the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was living in Los
Well,
Angeles.
there was a semblance of normalcy here, right? Like,
Florida normalcy.
yeah, I mean,
But you have to be in Florida
Yeah.
there are still people in California walking around outside with masks on, I'm sure.
today.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think I do think that's what it must have been, because Miami, look, we do condos and we do cruises and we keep on building berths at the cruise ship port. God knows where we're going to put those fuel tanks, but that's for another day.
Well, and it's like one of the only places in the country that's like a built-out city that's still developing that you can pull up to a restaurant on a boat. hop off and have lunch.
It's cool.
And then go home on your,
True.
on your boat. Like the boat and yacht culture in Miami, it's unmatched in the United States.
It's unmatched.
Fort Lauderdale would say, though, no. Fort Lauderdale, they're the ones. They lay claim to being the...
Is that right?
Oh, yeah, Fort Lauderdale.
Well, they built it. That was by design because of the
about it.
canal system. So I think they have...
They got the sandbar right in the middle.
Yeah, and they have the waterway system.
Right.
And so you can actually get a townhouse with a boat slip on one of those canals, and you're not spending $10 million. You can get one for a couple $1 million.
Because it's Fort Lauderdale.
And you're in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Fort Lauderdale, by the way. I mean, people like Fort Lauderdale. We've moved people to Fort Lauderdale in our practice. And it's just like how Miami's not for everybody, Palm Beach is not for everybody. But I think and we'll talk investment portfolio. There's a product out there for every portfolio, right?
But if you want to gauge Fort Lauderdale versus Miami, like Miami-Dade County's prison. Let's talk jails. The jail for Miami-Dade County is Turner Guilford Knight Center, TGK, located on the other side of the tracks by Miami International Airport. Where is the jail for Broward County? It's on the south bank of the New River. It's on the south bank of the river. That's where the jail is. Just to give you an idea how underdeveloped it is. It hasn't yet evolved.
But there's a tremendous amount of financial services in Fort Lauderdale. I mean, I don't know if it's on par with Palm Beach or what's growing here in Miami, but it's always sort of been this hub of wealth management because, look, people like going there.
It's also an easy city.
It's easy.
It's very easy. There's a lot of space. There's not as much traffic.
But then again, you're coming from Massachusetts. And
sure.
Fort
Are you
Lauderdale
Boston or West Mass?
Western Mass, Berkshire. Yeah.
Fort Lauderdale's known for being New Englanders.
Yeah.
Versus Miami-Dade County is probably more New Yorkers.
Right.
Just generally speaking.
Canadians, eh?
Yeah. That as well.
A lot of Canadians.
Yeah. Why did all the New Englanders go to Broward County?
I don't know.
Hear that? Did you ever come down when you were a kid?
Not really.
No, you never came
I think
down
it's
this
just
way?
like a critical mass thing. Why did all the Russians go to Sunny Isles? Don't answer that. All right.
We came to go to Tatiana's.
Well, we'll talk about that later. Miami makes it easy to grow a business. Buy, sell, hold.
Buy.
I'm going to be a hold.
You're a hold.
I'm a hold because of what a Brazilian developer told me. When you come here to build in Miami, it's not about how much you make, how much you leave with. So many guys get fleeced along the way. You come in, you start burning cash, and then it goes sideways. And I would point out Ken Griffin from Citadel. His first investment was a pair of condos over the Faena.
We call him Ken Billion, which I think is a great name. He doesn't seem to like it.
My memory serves me correct. He got in at 60 for a pair, and he sold them for 46. So I think it's very easy to buy in Miami.
Right.
I don't know if it's necessarily easy to sell. So is it easy to set up a business? Potentially, but how long is it going to last? Because everybody will take your cash if you're burning it. But is it actually going to have legs that kind of keep going?
Real estate specific.
Yeah. But because we fluctuate so dramatically, like in the summer, the whole demographic of this area is going to change. You'll get a lot of people from South America coming up this way because it's
World Cup.
Yeah. Well, besides the World Cup, yeah. So it just changes so dramatically. So I'd probably be a hold.
Hold, buy. I'm buying. I love this place. Even Miami could be a bastard child. You love them anyway, right? Like better or worse. You got the commissioners down in City Hall, or I point down in City Hall, but City Hall's moving to the airport. I don't know.
They're going to Freedom Park.
Yeah, they're going to turn City Hall into they're going to put out an RFP and it's going to turn into a steakhouse or some stupid.
You're kidding.
I swear to God.
Wow.
Maybe the boys from 11.
It's iconic. That was the old Pan Am flight terminal.
That's
where
building.
the planes would come in.
That's where I go to the gym.
Oh, the anatomy right there. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to do with the space. David Martin will probably have something to do with it. And you like David.
David's good.
David,
He's
you look
doing a lot
great.
of stuff.
He had the whole profile in the Sunday paper.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked it. He made a movie, dude. Didn't he finance a movie about it?
Was it?
David Martin. Yeah. He's not to be confused with the gentleman named Dave Martin. David Martin is the head of Terra, and he's a big developer around here. He's got his hands in everything. He bought the lease out of the Sequarium. They're going to Key Biscayne. Now he's building the well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's building the well.
That is going to be a nice project.
That's a nice project.
Really.
It's very grovey.
It's very grovey. The wellness, the wellness for me, this is just a hustle. This is just
No, I don't buy that.
Listen, over 55 community had shuffleboard and you can preserve your life and you can live longer and you can have camaraderie and you had a community and all
Right,
of that.
right.
Tell me the wellness stuff isn't this the same spin? It's just now you're drinking or you're eating something.
No, but we're
vegan
past
or,
wellness now. We're at the Kygo building
yeah,
now.
because you're gonna spend top dollar to have access to Pilates. You're gonna get access to some to me, it doesn't.
People are very loyal to
I
their
think
Pilates
it
instructor.
depends on the product. There's some new initiatives, you know, Sam Nazarian,
Sure.
SLS, SBE Group. So this is an example of some of the things that we're seeing in like luxury hospitality
Is
and
he
branded
building anything down
residences.
here?
I don't know. I think he's working on some projects
Because he
a little
moved
bit
his
north.
office right here to
He's right across the street.
Coconut Grove, right?
Yep, yep. So he's got a wonderful concept called the Estates, and it's essentially luxury hotel residences, but centered around the most cutting edge longevity, health and wellness, and medical facilities.
Oh, so there's actually like a clinical element to this, not just
Exactly.
mumbo jumbo Eastern medicine stuff.
Like routine blood tests, full body MRIs, brain scans,
Guys with MDs
CTs,
working.
like actual doctors
Yeah.
with the most cutting edge medical technology.
See,
Why would you need to live in a building though to get access to all that?
Because
Well,
think
because
about
you're
how
old.
annoying. Think about how annoying it is to go stand in line with 50 other patients, trying to deal with insurance. Going to a simple doctor's appointment these days. It's a nightmare.
But Amazon's got One Medical. You go on there, you get on the app, bang, bang, bang.
Honestly,
you roll in.
I'm
there,
over-
they
It's
draw
not.
blood.
It's not as robust as full body MRIs once a year.
That's fair.
I get the healthcare stuff, but why do you want to buy in a condo? Because you got a doctor's office in the location. Is all I'm saying.
Well, just convenience.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
just convenience.
Or are you buying it so you can peddle the story to somebody else and maybe get top dollar coming in because of all of the convenience? Like for instance, one of the things that used to be really big down here in Miami was healthcare tourism. You get everybody coming in from Latin America, Baskin Palmer, which is the eye.
Well, then it flipped, right? People are going down there now.
People are going down because
Right.
it got too expensive. So no, I mean I appreciate it. I just to me a condo is a commodity. It's rebar, it's cement, it's glass. They trade like commodities. Some of them have a brand, and they might have a little alligator.
Well, there's no question there's overbuilding too of
Yeah.
condos here, right? And I'm not a real estate expert, but I just see everything going up.
See the cranes
And I see how expensive it is.
Yeah,
I mean, these
very.
condos, what are they going for a foot?
in the Grove, over 2,000 a foot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you just wonder, like, who are buying these condos?
Wealthy people, but what's the total addressable market of people like that? Are they all? How many employees is Citadel bringing down
That's the
here
question.
that are making $1 million a
Well,
year?
it sounds like a lot. They have a beautiful new office. I was in their office
At
a few
8:30?
weeks ago at
Yeah.
8:30, but now he's building a
building-
whole new building,
Yeah,
right?
there you go. He's pushing dirt at the
He's been
site.
talking about this thing forever.
Right. Well, I think, look, if he really brings a lot of folks down here and you get a few other large firms, it creates a cycle. And
Well,
all
because
of a
it's a-
sudden your friends now live in Florida, like, oh, man, maybe I'll consider
It's
moving
the
down.
firms that want to work with Citadel, that service Citadel, and want to grow up to be Citadel.
Yeah, but listen, if he was smart though, and Ken Billions, you're smart, but if he was really smart, what he would do? Take that damn office building, turn it into an office condo.
And take some
anybody
money.
wants to go in there and kiss your boots, make them buy an office condo to get access.
I like
and
that
then you
idea.
bang them out for $3,000, $4,000 a foot, and now they get access to the club. But why are you going to lease office space?
Maybe
I
he
mean,
takes
why
over the
would you
whole
lease office
building.
space?
Maybe he takes Citadel out of New York and puts every single employee in Miami.
Why does he want to own it? I mean, Ken, listen.
Because it's a vanity thing.
Follow
Why
the
not? He's $10
Walgreens.
billion.
Take the Walgreens model. Buy it, build it, sell it to somebody else. You don't want to own office space right on the bay with rising sea levels.
I got to keep us honest with time. I got to keep us honest with time.
All right.
Sneaky change in property taxes wins the vote. So this one's interesting. So Governor Ron DeSantis, outgoing, lame duck governor, and he's been, and Rob, cut me off if you know what's going on here, but for about a year, he's been trying to make his legacy, right? And he keeps on saying, I'm going to eliminate property taxes for homestead in the States, right? You have a homesteaded house here. Yeah. And they came up with a plan, and they voted. Senate and the House, they voted. This is going to the November ballot. So if 60% of these voters, of our constituents, vote for this, they will eliminate property taxes per Ron DeSantis. But that's not actually what's on the ballot.
Right.
So right now we have a $50,000 homestead exemption. So you buy $1 million house, just to make the math easy, they value it at $950. You pay 2 points on that, call it $20,000 a year, right? What they're putting on the ballot is raising that over the course of a few years to $250,000 off, which if you have $1 million house, kind of, it's a few $1,000s in your pocket. If you have a $3 million house, doesn't really move the needle. But if you have a $500,000 house, Well, that's going from $10,000 tax bill to a $5,000 tax bill, which if you live in a $500,000 house, that's probably a significant chunk of change for you.
Yeah.
So that's all fine and good, but buried in here was a really interesting tidbit.
Nice. Tell us. Tell us.
So if your house is homesteaded, they can raise your property taxes up. They can raise that taxable value by 3% a year.
Mm-hmm.
So your $1 million house can be worth $1,030,000 per the tax man. And if it's a non-homesteaded property, they can raise it up to 10% a year. And
Right.
in certain submarkets here, we see appreciation, annual appreciation of 8, 10, 12% a year, especially since COVID. And so you're getting hit with this 10% increase every year,
Mm-hmm.
which if it's an investment property or a commercial property, this is really eating into your NOI.
Mm-hmm.
They want to lower the cap to 5%. So actually, I thought that the $250,000 exemption was kind of bullshit. It's like neutral.
So wait, well, let me ask you this though. So is the property tax, the no property tax thing, that's off the table?
That's off the table.
That's off the table.
And by the way, a third of those go to schools and they can't touch those anyway.
Right.
So it was just going to be 66% of the taxes that they wanted to eliminate.
Right.
But if you have a house, by the way, the median value of a single family home here in Miami-Dade County is well over 600K. So that 250.
That's what I was going to say. It's not going to really help most people. So I don't think residents will pay much attention to it, but I do think investors will.
I think this really helps the investment class because if you own a portfolio of multifamilies, all of a sudden, whoa, like you're telling me my taxable value can't go up 10 because 10% was a lot, especially when you see the amount of appreciation.
Right.
Peter's going to tell you that there's going to be zero.
They went the opposite way of where everyone thought they were going to go.
I thought it was going to be very
bad
anti-business.
Yeah, it was going to be bad for people making investments here who don't live here, but good for the residents. But now it seems like it's flipped a little bit.
It's kind of flipped a little bit, and because of that, I think they have more of a leg to stand on in terms of getting voters to actually vote yes for this. So I thought it was going to pass before. I really think it's going to pass now, and I guess I want to ask you because so much of what you invest in, I understand you invest in a good amount of real estate. You invest in any real estate in Florida?
We do, yeah.
So you look at this. You don't have to tell me if you would vote for it or not vote for it, but you look at this, and does this kind of like do your ears kind of stand up and say this is interesting?
Yeah, no, of course we would vote for something like that. It de-risks any transaction you're going to do across the board.
Right, because you're going to hold something for 5, 6, 10 years.
Yeah, or even longer if it's a store of value play and you're just holding money and you're clipping a decent cap rate. Yeah, that changes the calculus quite a bit.
That was really interesting, Peter. What are your thoughts on this? Since specifically the 10% to 5%, because I think that's the most integral part of this piece of legislation that they put forward.
Well,
it can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, what I would say is we are a red state. We are not a blue state. You want blue state politics, you go to California, they're socialist or communist. How do you come to a red state and suddenly provide some sort of socialism? How do you provide a break to somebody who owns a house that goes against capitalism?
Oh, well, Peter wants to get rid of the homestead entirely.
Let the market do what it does. Eliminate the homestead. How do you come out and say you're a red state and then you want to provide subsidies to homeowners? Governor DeSantis, listen, all due respect, if you're going to talk out of both sides of your mouth, at least get the story straight.
No, I think more than I don't. I think
no, but I'm just saying, for the record, how do you offer a subsidy and then go out there and beat the drum that you're a hardcore and we got to be against Cuba because they're communists?
Because it's a legacy thing for him.
Healthcare subsidies, but we're going to give a subsidy to homeowners.
So you're anti increasing the subsidy?
No, I'm just saying, just from philosophically.
Oh, right.
If you're going to come out and say we're against this, we're going to give a little subsidy to these homeowners. Now, do I agree with it? Yeah, I'm fine with it. I don't have a problem with it. But stop barking about how you're red state and we stand for independence and we can do things on our own and we pull up our boots.
But we don't have income tax. So how are we going to fill the government coffers if not with property tax?
Well, what I would say, you want to fill the government coffers, you give her a homestead. Let this stuff float.
Oh, let it float on market.
You got a lot of people living in houses that the only reason they're there is because it's so damn cheap. Their property taxes are so low. They got $1 million, $2 million house that they paid $150,000 for. They're getting taxed. They went up. It goes up to CPI or 3% annually.
Well, we also had over a decade of zero rates. So it's you got people with mortgages, they'll never sell the house.
Yeah, exactly. So I would much rather have homestead eliminated. I'd rather have stuff trade at market. It'll force people. They have to make decisions, turnover, and then you'll get much more of a consistent, I think, real-time, efficient market. I think the market we got right now, because of all the patchwork, and I would say the manipulation that's going on because of subsidies like homesteads and other things. That's pretty much why we are where we are.
Yeah, it
Why not let the
reduces.
market
Yeah.
just like the condo market right now? They're all being forced to do inspections.
Mm.
They're all being forced to bring things up the code. They're all being forced to pay. Why are you giving a pass to the single family homeowners? If you
Yeah.
want to do that, why not force every house to be inspected?
Yeah.
Why not do something to kind of shake it up? Because right now we got all these old generation. It's almost like what you hear about like the IRS and their technology with databases and stuff and monochrome and whatever they're doing. But I mean, why don't we deal with the efficiencies? If we are talking about Doge
Mm.
and bringing efficiency and all this type of stuff, how the hell are you going to leave these single family houses out there managing the way they are with all these patchwork? Let's add 50 grand.
Well, you got to put a Doge on the municipalities if you're going to do this because they can't balance the budget without the
exactly. But
revenue.
we're talking about portability. Like they've added so many little patchworks along the way.
Yeah.
We'll give you 25 grand extra, and if you're a veteran, we'll give you this bonus, that bonus. At the end of the day, you're either all in, red state, capitalist, and you fight for yourself and you pull yourself up, or you're going to subsidize in your
Yeah, but these municipalities, rural municipalities, wouldn't be able to survive.
There's got to be some elements of socialism in all of these.
Yeah,
Like look at Citizens Insurance. Citizens Insurance, you'd have half the state being uninsured.
I'm not against it. I'm just saying stop barking about how we're independent.
Because he wants to leave a legacy.
Yeah. Well, I think what the legacy is wishy-washy.
So wait, who do you think is going to get elected then?
For governor?
Yeah.
That's rough. You're gonna have to talk to me after primaries. I don't know. So we were talking with Mr. Michael Miller over at Miami Community News, and they do these kind of loose straw polls because they put out a lot of content, and based on how many people watch their live streams on certain folks coming in, they can gauge, the public's interest on any single person. And so I asked him, I go, so all right, who's been the most influential person you've had here? And they like Donald. Everybody down here loves. He's like, more people tuned in for that live stream than anybody since we started doing this 5-6 years ago.
What are they saying on Polymarket, Joshua? Can you pull up the?
Joshua, I told you no more call sheet. So I want to ask you, if this passes, the effect is you'll have to have been a resident for 5 years if you don't make it here before December 31st, 2026.
Interesting.
So elections are in November. Are we going to see a rush of real estate transactions in the last 6 weeks of the year of people trying to get in front of this? Because they're going to transition into this. So it's going to be, I think, 150 homestead exemption for the first year. Second year, they bump to 200, and then it'll go up with CPI in the subsequent years.
Why all the manipulation? Why not just, I mean, if this is what it is, this is what it is.
Just get rid of it.
Well, they were just going to get, the last proposal that didn't really get anywhere up in Tallahassee was, okay, we're just going to get rid of it, but schools are safe. Right. And police and public safety are safe.
Right.
But that was so poorly received by.
Don't they self-police themselves down here? Everyone's got a gun on them.
I don't have a gun.
I think that's why it's so
I got
safe.
Joshua, though. He's got 2 guns.
You are very friendly in traffic in Miami.
Very friendly. Oh,
very friendly.
Hey, thanks for cutting me off, bud.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, asshole. Hey, we're fucking myself. Yeah. So, but you see this happening. Are you going to call your buddies out in California and be like, guys, December 31st, it's now or never?
I don't think it really
It's not going to move the needle for somebody buying a
really comes to that.
place.
No, I think, look, if you're close and you're going to move here, maybe you step on the accelerator because I may as well get in under the line.
What about the net worth tax in California for the billionaires? I think that ship has sailed, right? Because
Well,
they have to get here before the first of this year.
Yeah, well, God, who knows? I mean, they say it's like, Hotel California. You can't ever leave. They make it very difficult. Yeah, so I'm waiting to get, I'll probably get audited. I moved here last year.
Really?
So we'll see what happens.
I have clients who have gotten their days counted by the IRS.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, no,
that come back in and out from New York. So this happened to one of my clients. He had to cut a check because, he would count his days and he would travel a lot for work. And he was off by a couple days. He didn't realize that his layover in JFK flying to Europe counted as a day in New York, and they went after him for it.
Wow. No, you can't even be close.
You got to, what's the margin of error, like 10 or 20 days on either side?
I'm like maybe 60 days max.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mess around with it. And they have apps that track it, obviously. You can do that, but
$5.99 a month for my
Yeah.
That's actually not a lot of money
It
considering
just
what the
tags you wherever you are,
consequence
and
could be.
it creates a file for the IRS. So if you get audited, you have it.
That's brilliant.
Move to Florida. You don't have to count. They just live here year round, guys.
Yeah.
That or
Right,
else get
Jeff?
a stalking girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
No,
send
but
you
they will get you.
Yeah, she's tracking where you are.
We met a woman who was living. She moved to the Nevada side of Lake Tahoe,
Okay.
and she's living there, but she would go to the California side
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
groceries.
Yeah.
You know, a couple times a week. California came knocking, and they're
Get
like,
out of here.
groceries.
Just
What would
literally
they count? They have
just
license plate
driving-
readers?
cell phone pings. And they know where you are at all times. You
Can't you
cannot.
just get a cell phone?
It's
and
not like
leave
the
it
old
here
days where you
and
leave
go
your
travel?
cell phone. No, they know where you are.
Wow,
They
interesting.
know where you are.
It's like the Stasi, but in your pocket.
Yeah.
Fuck. All right. Well, sneaky change in property taxes secures the vote. Peter, you think that's going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back that gets people to show up and vote for this?
I mean, the $250,000. I could see a lot of people
Definitely. Yeah.
chasing this shiny object. Yeah, I could see him voting for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to pass.
But do you think that the additional 10% to 5% is like what's really pushing it across the finish line, or we didn't even need that?
I don't even think it's necessary. I think
Really?
I think it's payback for somebody or some sort of funding, or maybe DeSantis's wife or business or something. You know, it's just something they throw in there. I
Hope
think
Florida?
Yes, people are going to vote for the 250. Why not? Let's go ahead. Let's add it to it. Whatever. But the question is, what happens when prices go down? See, this is where the municipalities always get jammed up. If you remember back when the stadium was built here for the Miami Marlins, it's like $375 million or something. Ultimately, the interest rate was so high, it's going to net out to $1.4 billion. Yeah,
Nobody uses it.
Wow.
We had
It's a beautiful.
county-
It's so unfortunate because
Yeah.
it's the most beautiful ballpark.
Yeah, we had a county
Nobody goes.
mayor who's a
The
bodybuilder.
Inter Stadium's pretty cool.
I haven't been.
I took my son for the first time.
Was it-
First game ever.
Was it cool?
Awesome.
Really?
So good.
I'm glad they did a good job. So they put up that stadium faster than any infrastructure project I have ever seen here. Hard stop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we can't fill potholes in California.
Well, no, they can build stadiums here. They can't fill potholes here either. But they can build stadiums.
Right.
All right. Buy, sell, hold on this sneaky
buy.
change. You're
Yeah.
buying. I'm buying. I'm not. I need to be on the record. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
I think we're putting too much burden on our local administrators to balance budgets that they were not readily able to balance before. So
Yeah.
it's like, hey, here's your budget. We're going to take away all this revenue, and we need you to do a better job.
So
than
that's
you were
the
doing
thing.
before.
I feel like people, and especially in California and New York, people are not opposed or have not been opposed for many years to paying high taxes. In their view, that's the price of admission. If you want to live in this beautiful place where you could go skiing, hiking, and snowboard and surfing all in the same day, you're going to pay high taxes. The problem is, over the last decade, the reciprocal value has been so greatly diminished
Right.
because you can't go to the grocery store without being accosted by a homeless person.
Yep.
You can't go to the beach without looking through to make sure you're not stepping on a heroin needle. So you can't live in an environment like that and charge
And still
people high
expect high
taxes.
taxes, right.
Exactly right. So I do think people will continue, and maybe it's Miami, maybe it's Nevada, maybe it's Texas. I mean, all of these, red state, low income tax states are seeing people move from California.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of migration because.
But
yeah,
at least you got the
right.
beach and you got the yachts and you got the restaurants. Like this is.
You also got the hurricane season.
You don't want to be landlocked. I don't want to be landlocked.
No,
No way.
landlocked.
I
No,
don't
there's
think I
too many beautiful places in the world
Yeah.
along a coastline. You
Yeah.
can't be landlocked.
Yeah. But
Go, you can go visit Colorado
yeah, exactly.
and then come back.
Why go to Colorado? Go to Chile. Cheaper.
There you go.
There you go. So we're buying. Guys, that's our show. But I have one more question for our friend Rob here. You pitch people all the time. You pitch your clients. I like this investment. I like that investment. Elevator pitch for us, Miami right now.
Moving to Miami.
Moving to Miami. You're on the phone with your buddy. He's on the fence. Rob, I don't know if I should do it. Your kids are screaming at you. You got to convince them right now. You got 20 seconds.
Yeah. No state income tax, walkability, great schools. It's nice out most of the year. And then you just try to travel a little bit in the summer if you can. That's it.
You heard it here first. Rob,
Thank you
thank
very
you so much.
Yeah,
This was really
appreciate
fun.
it. Yeah.
Peter,
Thank you.
It's always good to
Likewise.
see you. This is Buy, Sell, Hold episode number 55. We are in the beautiful offices of Gideon Strategic Partners. I got Joshua behind there on the screen. We got Jeff over there looking over there in his chair. We hope we see you again next week. We are live, whether it's raining, sunny, snowing. Kidding, it doesn't snow here, but 4 p.m. Eastern time. You can always count on Peter and I. And that's the show, guys. Thank you.